everybody, welcome back to my channel. As people, we can only meet ourselves so far until we're brought to a standstill. You know what? Let me just tell the truth. I wrote this down kind of script style today because the other day I was just so frustrated and I would have loved to be able to film my thoughts and emotions in the moment, but I couldn't be able to do that. So I just wrote everything down. So honestly, if you see me looking down and reading off a script, it's because I am. As people, we can only meet ourselves so far until we're brought to a standstill. Oh, there will be people that you try, you want to get through to them, but at the end of the day, they just will never get it or understand it because they refuse to see the world through your eyes. I'm going through this personally, but I also think that it can be relevant through pop culture because I just finished watching Ginny and Georgia, and honestly, the way that the season ended is very tied in to kind of something that I'm experiencing right now, like a small way that the characters were acting. You know, I'm going to try not to have any spoilers really, but at the end of the last episode, we see Ginny kind of start to act like her mom, and Georgia is basically like, what are you doing? Blah, blah, you don't have to do all that. And Ginny kind of not retaliates back, but she says back, I'm just doing what you taught me. And that is what these people do not understand, that half the time, you know, there are people that you just meet and maybe you hit it off the first couple times and all of a sudden they start acting weird and it's out of nowhere, everything is just different and they start moving super just distant and hateful towards you. But there are people who you've grown up with and you've been influenced by, and they've kind of molded and structured you to be a certain way, but then they end up hating the way that you are. But it's I literally learned this all from you. I'm straight up just doing what you've been doing my whole life. I've been doing what you've been doing, so why am I getting the bad reputation here when it's just what I've learned from you? Like I just said, someone will mold you in your formative years into a person just like them, sharing all their same likes and dislikes and personality traits for better or for worse. And then the second that you kind of grow into your own person, all of a sudden all hell is broken loose and you're the most self-centered person in the world. A lot of you know that I'm in a very difficult household, and I feel bad making this video because at the time, like I said, this is happening. I'm filming this on a Friday. I don't know if it'll be up this same day, but I'm filming this on a Friday. And at the time when I kind of wrote this all down and I felt very heated in the moment, it was earlier this week. Progressively, I have been able to talk a little bit about the situation and what happened, but still I do think that I need to make this video because I know that there's other people who experience this kind of stuff as well. Like I said, you know, a lot going on. I don't want to get into it too much because I've made a video on that, and feel free to go watch it because it's been doing pretty well so far. But the other day, something just snapped between me and this person that I'm talking about, and honestly I just kind of snapped back too, and I was just done with holding my tongue and feeling like I just have to be keeping quiet in order to keep the peace and not saying anything. And I was just finally I was just you straight up have no idea what you're talking about half the time. You truly do not know. And it does suck because this is somebody that I've loved my whole entire life, and I really thought was the coolest person on earth, and I practically wanted to emulate, and really just there are some things that I do admire still about this person, but lately it's just been so hard because it's just I would never do half the things that you do to me or to others, so I'm good. But in here I wrote down how it kind of felt all of a sudden I had a kid, and sorry because if you can hear that because there's people mowing outside and stuff right now, but it's all of a sudden I had a kid and I started to view the world again through clearer eyes, through an adult lens, you know. It kind of, I feel when you're a child you really don't notice how growing up with narcissistic parents or emotionally unavailable parents or abusive parents, what have you, and not even just parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever, you don't notice the way that they've been until all of a sudden you're an adult and say you've been out of that situation for a little bit and you go back and you talk with them and you're oh, what the heck, how did I miss this whole time? But for me, I think now that I have a kid and I see the way that things are with my child, it reminds me of my own childhood, and I'm oh, I want to cut this out now. Like, I do not want this to continue any further, because clearly if this is making me uncomfortable, like, I can just only imagine the psychological and subconscious beliefs that are being formed in him, and it's really not that great. But like I said, we got into a heated argument, and honestly, I just really hope that, like, nobody sees this, at least from, like, this household, because, like, I shouldn't feel bad, though. Like, I really shouldn't feel bad about making this video, because it needs to be said, but it's just, like, we were just talking, and she was just saying how I'm so self-centered, and, like, I don't help anyone, and all this other stuff. It's just very hard to talk about it and get through, because any little thing that I said just practically was, like, out the other. Maybe I shouldn't talk about this any further, because it's not super relevant, I guess, to the main message that I want to get through to you guys. But when you're talking with someone and all they're doing is just calling you names and throwing any negative connotation that they can at you, you just need to not worry about it and not pay attention to it, because 9 times out of 10 it's a reflection of them and not you. Yeah, let me just skip all this part that I was writing here, because it actually is, like, a little bit more personal. And like I said, things did get somewhat resolved. We'll see, because at the end of the day, don't believe people's words, also believe their actions. So yeah, this is the part where I'm gonna get into Ginny and Georgia a little bit. So if you haven't seen the season, probably gonna get into some spoilers, so you can either just feel free to click off now, or I will try to put a timestamp location on when I'm all done talking about it. Okay, so as we know, Georgia got off scot-free because Ginny kind of helped and lied a little bit to Cynthia of how there were cameras in Blue Farm, and that she was more than willing to take her down. Kind of badass, to be honest. But then later on in the episode, as things are wrapping up, Georgia asked Ginny, how did you get everybody to do that? Like, how did you get the people to... Because basically Austin had framed their dad, or his dad, instead, and she kind of went to Cynthia as, like, this is what's... I don't know if she mentioned how, like, that's going to happen. She asked Austin to do that, but I think she kind of told Cynthia that, like, whatever you hear during the trial, like, you need to back it up as well, too, or else I will come for you. Like I said, it's kind of crazy. But Georgia asks her about it, and Ginny starts giving her a very Georgia-like answer, where she's kind of dodging the question. She's not really answering, and she's just straight up just being like, well, I did what you told me. I did what you showed me all my life growing up. Honestly, I just did what you would do. And that does scare Georgia a little bit into being like, oh, is this what I've been teaching my children this whole time? Like, is this who they're going to grow up into? Like, I'm not proud of some of the things that I've done, but I want to make sure that they don't end up down the same path, where it's just, you're just reflecting. So that was that. Because basically how I'm trying to wrap this all up here is, again, through the script here, people hate when you start to mirror themselves back at them. Confidence reminds them that they're insecure. Your vulnerability reminds them that they're emotionless and that they struggle with talking and processing their emotions. Your self-discipline makes them feel lazy, and there's just nothing that you can do to try and stop that or change it until they decide that they want to change themselves. You're not the problem in these situations, so stop feeling like you are. Obviously, unless you're causing intentional harm, you haven't done anything wrong. When you're just acting like yourself and you're being your true authentic self, and somebody else is feeling pushback against that, 9 times out of 10, there is something that they're not understanding. Even when maybe you're looking at somebody and it's like, it can be as shallow as comparing somebody's looks. Because if you're sitting there and you're like, oh my god, this person is so ugly, like blah, 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 you're probably just mad that you don't look like them. And it's like, okay, you could get up and go to the gym or get some new clothes or whatever. Like, anything that you're kind of feeling, I don't know. But when you recognize that and you realize that you're in these situations and scenarios with these people, you need to stop feeling like you need to shrink yourself and to not make yourself as big as you are, as captivating as you are, because obviously your presence fills up a room. Your presence is so magnetic and just so lively that they hate it and they want to bring you down, because the more that you're being yourself, more people are going to be attracted to you, and the right people are going to be attracted to you. Those are the people who are truly going to value you and see you for who you are. And at the end of the day, you're going to be the one to keep leveling up and getting all these cool opportunities, getting to do fun things, and just living your life to the fullest and feeling just so happy and confident in yourself. And those people, if they don't change, they're going to still be bitter. Ugh, my foot's falling asleep. Those people are going to be bitter regardless because they would straight up just rather see you fall and crumble instead of trying to do the work to get to where you're at and to earn back your respect and trust and your love and to just like really meet you where you are and see you for who you truly are. And hypothetically, if those people did that and they truly did change, then at that point it's up to you if you want to accept them back into your life or the same level of the relationship that you guys had, whether this is friends, acquaintances, familial, actual relationships, stuff like that. I do believe that people can change, but don't let everyone show you who they are and have them mean it and then just keep getting into the same cycles over and over and over. So just remember that if people are coming at you out of nowhere and they're really feeling negative towards you, like all of a sudden, like after kind of, especially when you like give them a little bit of your true personality, or like not that to say that when you're first meeting somebody like you're fake, but I just mean like when you really start to kind of deepen that bond, if all of a sudden they start being so out of the blue different, it is truly just a projection of them, and the only thing that you can control is how you react to that and how you react to your environment. So at the end of the day, you need to just keep being you, and you're gonna encounter people like this regardless, but don't ever diminish yourself, and don't ever try to make yourself into somebody that you're not, and don't try to, you know, just stop people pleasing. I think this definitely does circle back around to people pleasing as a whole, because that's just something that I've grown up with doing my whole entire life, and I'm at the stage now where it's like I just don't care anymore. I don't care what people have to say about me because I know my truth and my character. And does it still affect me? Yeah, a little bit. Like I said, I want to make a video on something because there was a little situation that happened kind of recently aside from this that made me, like, honestly has been sticking with me for a little bit now, because I was called something that I haven't been called in a very long time, and honestly it did strike a nerve. So, you know, at the end of the day, like if I give it that attention and that person is kind of getting what they want, but like I said, I'm going to turn it into a video and I'm going to turn it into a win for myself. So that's really all you can do. Like if you're getting bombarded into now, like if people are coming at you and you're starting to kind of get into and believe those negative emotions and you want to believe what they've been saying about you, do not do that at all, and try to just reprocess it and reframe it into something that is positive for you. Whether you put that into writing or drawing or music or art, just anything, you're gonna get that win regardless, and they will be there crying that they don't get to experience that with you because they don't deserve it anymore. Other than that, if you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any other future videos. Maybe share this with some people who you think need to hear it. Let me know if you've been in situations like this, if you've dealt with people like this. Obviously, if you've made it this far to the end of the video, then we've all experienced things like this, but at the end of the day, you just have to keep being yourself. Yeah, this was like difficult for me. Not actually, but I hope that you guys kind of liked my whole like script thing. I don't know. I just do that because obviously I'm over here trying to say goodbye and I'm doing a whole Portuguese goodbye to y'all because I'm talking about anything and everything. But when I do stuff like that, it helps me kind of like get on track and to keep the process and the momentum going and really focusing on what I'm trying to say. So yeah, thank you all for watching this video. Thank you for understanding me and letting me be myself as well too. Sometimes I feel like I get scared of my own personality and how I do kind of stumble upon my words and how I do kind of talk like here, there, and everywhere, and then I try to wrap it all into one little thing. But yeah, I just really appreciate you guys letting me be myself, because that's obviously why we found each other and why you enjoy my videos. So yeah, make sure to subscribe. I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.